I've been reading a lot of columns now, articles about Vontae Davis. He's the Bills defensive back that he quit during halftime. He retired during halftime. And so, he decided that, this was best for him and his family. And I, okay. So people now looking him as a hero of sorts. Like he did a heroic thing. He knew that it was time, and it was time right then. Now, I was wondering a couple of things. What if there's like a 3rd and 9 with 4 minutes to go in the first half, and then that was the moment that he decided? Like, then do you just walk off the field? Was it at a halftime that he really thought? Could you have stayed on the sidelines just 2 hours? What if they were on the road in San Diego or in Los Angeles against the Chargers? What if the game was on the road? Does Vontae Davis retire at halftime? What's it? Are you going to buy his ticket? Are you going to get an Uber back from L.A.? What's he going to do? So, for these writers who are calling him a hero, give me the heroic gesture here. He knew when it was time to retire. Okay. If he knew when it was time to retire, it could have been, with 3.5 minutes to go. Why not just walk off the field then? Would that have been heroic? He waited till halftime. And then he drove home and beat the traffic in Buffalo. If you're in Los Angeles, would he have retired at halftime? I have not seen anybody ask that question. I would love for Vontae Davis to come on and, we could chop this up. He's not busy anymore. Maybe we could discuss. Would you have retired at halftime if you were on the road? Yes, Paulie.
You think this is going to catch on? Players just get real tired. 2 minutes left in the third. The center just goes, you know what? Screw
That's
this.
it. I mean, I just decided to retire. That's a heroic gesture. He knew when it was time to retire.
Okay, in all seriousness, let's say you just got fed up one day. You said, I'm done with this whole business. Would you finish out your shift?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course you would.
Of course I would. Of course I would. I have to believe you could put in 2 more hours.
Have you had a day in your professional on-air career where you're like, man, I could be done with this?
I thought I was going to be fired one day at the mothership.
But that's different. On your choice where you said, this stuff just stinks. You haven't had that many bad days like that.
No, because normally when you have if you have a bad show, it's at the end of your day, and then you just finish the show, and then you're done, and then you start another show the next day. I mean, that was the magic of doing SportsCenter. You could have a bad show and just say, all right, drive home, forget about it, and I'll be back again. But I don't think I've had a bad show here, so there'd be no reason to walk away from this.
Yeah, I'm checking. You haven't.
Yeah. Fritzy, would you check? Have I had a bad show since we started doing this?
I don't believe you have.
Thank
There's
you.
a couple of questionable things said in a given segment or so. But as far as an actual whole show, no, I think you're all right there.
Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Right. Yeah, I'm curious about Vontae Davis if he would have walked away at halftime in Los Angeles against the Chargers. Kind of convenient to do it in Buffalo. Yeah, Fritzy.
But you've had individuals do it, which is, I guess, even worse. Roberto Duran with the no Moss tennis players quit all the time because of injury.
And it never left him. As great as Roberto Duran was, and he should be remembered for far more than no Moss, that's first paragraph of his boxing eulogy. First paragraph. Now, Vontae Davis was a 2-time Pro Bowl player, and he played 10 years. I mean, I think he was a respected football player, but I can't call him a hero here because he quit at halftime. Yeah? Yeah, Paul.
Remember Ricky Williams, a star running back for the Dolphins? I think he quit in the middle of training camp or close to the season. He got crushed. He didn't quit mid-game for the Dolphins as he was their lead running back. He gave the team ample time to find, at least a little bit of time to find a replacement.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else, and I know this was mentioned to me yesterday, that Babe Ruth in his last game actually quit during the game. But he's Babe Ruth. There's a big difference between Babe Ruth and Vontae Davis. But Vontae Davis he's going to be a verb. Yeah. You're going to think Vontae Davis and you're going to think one thing. Now, you might not remember him for anything else prior to this, but you're going to remember him as he quit during halftime. Yes,
It's not really the same as Roberto Duran, but I mean, in MMA, you tap out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Now, usually it's because your arm is being broken in half or something like that.
Yeah.
So, granted, there is a difference, but at least Roberto Duran was fighting. I mean, he was getting the crap beat out of him.
Yes.
Yeah, I get being like, you know what? Actually, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Can you understand? What if Vontae Davis quit at 4 minutes to go in the second half of the game against the Chargers.
No, you have to finish the game, or you shouldn't have played at all. You can't go half a game because that's somebody else's spot. Somebody else could have had that job. Somebody else could have had that spot that day and gotten that game check. It's not like this all of a sudden snuck up on him where he was like, no, I'm super into the game and pumped. I want to play this weekend. And then at halftime, he's like, you know what? Actually, second thought, I'm going to split. He had obviously been thinking about it for a while. I mean, that somebody else could have gotten that check.
Once you start thinking about retirement, then retire. Players will tell you that. Once you allow yourself to think about it, then you should retire. Not mid-game, though. I don't know if he's going, all right, we got 3rd and 9. Who do I got here? I got Mike Williams here. Think about retiring here. Maybe. Now I'll wait till halftime. Hut! I just wanted him to play 30 more plays. That's it. That's all he had to do. Then I would move on. This wouldn't even be a topic. Nathan in Indiana. Hi, Nathan. What do you have?
How you doing?
Good, bud.
Good. I was just interested in the optics of it because we bash him, Davis, obviously, and I'm from Indiana. I'm a huge Colts fan. He played in a really high level for us for a really long time.
Yeah.
And he's a good player, and he's a good guy. I've met him a couple of times doing like things up in Indianapolis, public relations things. And I really find it fascinating that a lot of people are defending Le'Veon Bell for his decision to not show up. Now, his teammates are bashing him. Obviously, you expect that. But a lot of the media pundits are saying he has to take care of his family. He needs to make more money. He was only on a one-year deal. Well, Vontae Davis came out and said himself that he did not feel right, that he didn't feel like he could play. And just like Von Miller said, it happens. I mean, it happens like that, and he probably could have handled it better. But if he's making this decision for his family and his future, why do we really care? Why is it such a big deal to us that he, quote-unquote, quit? Is it just like the selfishness of it? We wanted to see him play, but then Le'Veon Bell's sitting there doing the exact same thing with his team. There's a lot of people saying, well, he's right. He didn't get his contract. He doesn't have his money. I wonder why we feel so angry with Vontae over what he did. Is it just because it was halftime? Is it just because of the timing and the optics of it?
Yeah, I'm not angry. I would just be disappointed. Thank you, Nathan. And I don't know Vontae Davis, but I would hate to be known as the guy who quit at halftime after putting in 10 years. It's just 30 more plays, and then you decide you don't want to play anymore, then fine. And Le'Veon Bell is, he cares about himself. And could the Steelers have made this better? I put blame on the Steelers as well. But Le'Veon Bell doesn't care about his teammates. He cares about himself and the next contract. So if I'm his teammate, why do I care about Le'Veon Bell? He doesn't care about playing. I'm sure there are a lot of guys who don't like their contracts. But Le'Veon Bell feels like he has leverage here, and maybe he comes back in week 10. He's giving away $855,000. Fine. It's on him when he's all said and done. But this is a team that stood by him when he had some issues off the field, a couple of suspensions, and teammates, management, coaching staff stood by him. And now he's going to, hold him over a barrel here. And it'll stay with him the rest of his career. Whether it's a big deal or not, we'll see. Is that next team going to be scared by this guy? Because I would be, as great as he is, and I would have done the same thing the Steelers did. I would have looked at this and said, all right, I got 5 years with this guy, and that's it. I would look at my running backs, 5 years. That's it. And if you get more than that out of him, good for you. You want to pay that second contract? That's on you, not on me. But if I get 5, I'll take 5. But Vontae Davis, once again, if they were winning, would he have quit? If they were on the road, would he have quit?
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.